It's Artemis. Hi. So I have had an interesting experience today. A few actually interesting experiences. Seems today is the day that is one of those days that I get to be a disruptor, which is just who I am. That's the value that I bring to the table. It is the role that I play. And that's okay. It's very curious when it happens every time, though, I must say. Because there's this, and I would say for me, the hardest part about being a disruptor is in our culture, there is a pull to intellectualize in the defense and offensive. When you say something that disrupts whatever is in front of you, they then counter with that you have to logic as to why that's appropriate, as to why you're correct. And if you can't do that, then you're assuming, you're projecting. And maybe it's just me, but the only real thing that gets going in me is this feeling of how do I source what I need to source to reason from the mind with you? And that's where this ties into thriving and survival. It is the survival instinct to have to justify, to intellectualize, to logic, to find that logical way of dismantling the emotional expression. But the power, the true power in the moment, the true power and the ability to shift past and shift away is not in the thought process. It is in the feelings that we observe. It is in the body. It is in the physical response. It is in the meaning that the feeling within the body, the physical response, brings to the surface. Excuse me. So, given that, I want to take a moment to pause together to go into your body. Let's close our eyes. And actually, this seems like a perfect opportunity. Wait, come back. It's a perfect opportunity to try some self-hypnosis. So we can talk directly to the body, directly to the subconscious, instead of trying to logic how it should feel. Let's just allow it to feel how it feels. Let's allow the body to offer up an understanding of why. Not to create an intellectual thing, but to create a sense of where that feeling first began. So actually, give me one moment. I gotta go get something. Be right back. There it is. It's next to me. Oh my. Well, it was next to me the whole time and I went looking for it. Funny how that goes. All right. All right. We will come to this after. All right. Start with getting into the body. So, take a big deep breath in and allow the force of your breath to sink you into your physical body. Feel your consciousness, your center point of awareness, fall from in your mind down, down, down into your body. Feel yourself sink in. Allow yourself to make noise as you sink into your body. And as you sink into your body, let yourself feel the points where stagnation, frustration, tension, fear, happiness, joy, satisfaction, all of those things, all of those feelings, all those experiences that live in the body are, and just notice them. If it helps, wiggle. Move into your hips, into your spine. Jiggle, let yourself feel, let yourself jostle, so that in jostling you can feel the points where it's not jostling, where it's not moving. All right. And now we're going to self-hypnotize. And the way you do this is you look up through your eyebrows. Often it helps me to look up at my own hand, or the suggestion is to find a real or imagined spot above you to focus on above your head. And look up through your eyebrows. And you're going to feel a fluttering, sort of uncomfortable feeling as you do this. And just breathe. Maybe not uncomfortable, but different, sort of unfamiliar, sort of be awkward because it's unfamiliar, but just let yourself be with it. So, look up through your eyebrows. Fix your eyes on a real or imagined spot above you. Okay? Keep your eyes open and looking up. And breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. And let your eyes flutter while keeping your eyes up. That is REM, activating that fluttering, and that fluttering, that activation of REM, rapid eye movement, is how you know that alpha brainwaves are engaged and you are relaxing into that very receptive, open state. So look up and breathe in. and out. And breathe in and out. And one more time, breathe in and out. And keeping your eyes looking up, let your eyes close down. And keep breathing. Keep settling into the body. Keep feeling yourself relaxing. Let yourself feel whatever you are feeling. Let yourself think whatever you are thinking. And just be with the sensations and thoughts within your body. And now I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And I am going to respond with my own that come up to the surface because I want to share with you from a vulnerable space to create a container of vulnerability. Because in displaying and modeling vulnerability, I call you into this space with me. Because that is how mirror neurons work. So keep breathing and just allow yourself to be within this meditative state, this relaxed, open, receptive state. And allow yourself to allow whatever comes up to simply come to the surface. So breathe in and out. And allow yourself to sit here and imagine that you are on an elevator or standing at the top of a flight of stairs. And see that there are 5 steps, 5 levels, either on the elevator or the stairs, whichever feels more comfortable. And as you breathe in, feel yourself floating. Feel yourself there. And in the first step, at the first level, level 5, breathe in and feel yourself dropping in more into your body. With each breath out, feel yourself dropping down that elevator, stepping down that first step. Feeling yourself relax more and more into this receptive state where you can receive from your body, from your consciousness, from that which is below your conscious mind, beneath your conscious mind. And step and fall and shift down to level 4, step 4. And let yourself breathe and float, sinking deeper and deeper into this meditative state. And now you are stepping, releasing, dropping down to level 3, step 3. And feel yourself becoming more and more receptive, more and more aware, more and more present to this present moment. And settle in more and drop down, step down to step 3, level 3, down to 2. And feel how you're sliding down, floating down, drifting down, sinking down to this even deeper level of awareness. And then shift even further down and down to level 1. And now just be here. Be in this present moment. And I'm going to ask you some questions and just allow whatever comes up to be whatever comes up. And now you are drifting, allowing in your mind to trust that whatever comes to the surface is the right answer. There is no good, there is no bad, there just is what there is. Allow the constructs of your mind to fall away. Allow the expectations to settle into the background. And just let whatever comes to the surface come to the surface. Keep breathing. And so now that you're here, I want you to draw up a room that you feel comfortable in. And on one of the walls of this room, there is a projector screen and a projector behind you. And as I ask you these questions, you're going to allow whatever comes to your mind project onto the screen so that you may observe it, so that you may see your own experience through the experience of the other, separate from yourself. But you know that it's within you. And whatever comes up, you know that you are merely reviewing and you are safe. And the first image, the first experience that you will be drawing up, I want you to draw up a significant memory where you were happy. Happy for no other reason than just simply being happy. Feeling good, feeling in alignment, feeling in flow. And I want you to project this image, the first one that comes to mind, onto the screen in front of you. And now allow yourself to observe what happy means from an internal perspective. Let yourself observe this moment, this memory, this scene, this experience that holds the meaning of being happy in front of you. I want you to just observe. Now I want you to breathe one more time. And let yourself now shift back into the floating feeling. And I want you to allow to come to the surface, project through the projector onto the screen, a memory of feeling powerful. What about what scene is coming to mind gave you that feeling of it meaning power? How does this scene that is coming to the surface show you what is the feeling of power? Observe it. Allow yourself to see the details, the feelings, how you created meaning of power in your life from that scene. And now I want you to bring up whether or not that power is connected to something where you are overcoming something, or where you are feeling free from something, or whether it is a sense of power because of your association with the expectations of the other being fulfilled. Do you feel powerful in this scene, in this experience that's coming to mind because you just felt powerful? Or do you feel powerful because there was some external force outside of you telling you that that is what power is? I want you to consider this. Play with this. Be open. Be curious. Sit with the idea that you do not already know the answer. Be curious. Allow whatever it is to come to the surface. And now, let yourself go back to that floating feeling and shift one more time. Allow a scene to come to the surface where you are feeling told who you are. Or you are being told that either you are good or bad. And observe that feeling within yourself. Observe where that feeling of being told you are good or bad sits in your body. Where does it sit in your body? What about the scene taught you about value? About what is appreciated and what isn't by the other? Does it match to your own experience? Or does it make you feel more separated from your own self? Just observe. Just let it be. And now I want you to bring up, allow that scene to clear. And allow yourself to bring to the surface a scene that taught you about the feeling of survival. What does it mean to have survived? What is a scene in your past that is coming to the surface where you survived? Where does that feeling sit in your body? What other feelings respond like a domino being hit when you leaned into that concept of feeling that you survived, of being a survivor? Does it hold any certain quality? What is the feeling of it? What is the texture? What color is it? This is the one that I want to weigh in on. And then we will go to the next one. All right? So for me, as I'm asking this, even though my eyes are open and watching, I'm having this energy come to my belly, to my lower chakra areas. And it's this murky, sort of blackish, brownish mist. I don't know how else to call it. Survival. I survived. It's like this mist that wraps around my body. wraps me in this smoky sort of protective barrier. In surviving, I have learned how to keep things out. In surviving, I have learned how I am separate and how I preserve that separation so as to not be cost myself. And what is coming up is all of the moments. It's like a Rolodex of scenes. Like one of those flip books. Remember those? Where you would make like it from your book, you'd like take the corner, bend them all back, and put little pictures along it, and it just like does a little thing. Anyway, Rolodex of scenes. And the one that is surfacing the most is one that doesn't really feel like it has an age attached to it, which makes me feel like it's very early. And I'm being told by my mother with a bright, smiling face that I survived. I think I'd fallen out of a tree or something because my ankle is hurting. And I'm feeling very shaken up. I survived falling out of the tree, which was a really common thing for me as a kid. I was always climbing things, and I was always falling out of things, falling off of things, falling away from things, falling through things, falling on things. But I always survived. And I'm having come up that this is very tied to the saying that I say, I trip often but rarely fall. That is the key to survival. That is the key to defining how I express the texture of survival. It is the beginning of my black diamond fortress. The thing coming to the surface now is I have survived my identity being questioned. Which is an interesting thing to bring in, because this is a good point to shift into where the line between survival self and the self that is capable of thriving sits on the other side of. There is this threshold point. Can you survive and thrive? You have to have survived in order to be able to get to the point where you can thrive. But can the survival self-identity continue past that threshold? Or will you always be caught in that survival mentality when you step away from the thriving? When you are hit with something that you need to survive, do you get yanked back past that threshold? I know I do. When I brace against something, once I've started having momentum, I slip back. I slip away from the thriving because I halt that momentum and I wrap that ability to survive around myself, right? If you can't resonate with that, then let's go into that feeling of what is thriving. I want you to allow that to come to the surface. What is thriving? Sometimes this is difficult because we don't have much context for it socially. There aren't many personal examples in our lives of someone who has thrived, who is living and thriving, living in a thriving mindset. What is the difference between survival and thriving? Surviving and thriving. Can you feel the textural difference? What is coming to the surface? When I contemplate survival versus thriving, and I focus on the thriving aspect of it, I feel no need to stop that momentum to protect myself. I just keep going, right? When I'm surviving, there is a need to rationalize, conceptualize, make valid. My thriving self does not need to make anything valid. It just is. It simply knows that it is valid. Survival is not even a consideration. Survival has become irrelevant. This is similar to letting go of certainty and moving into uncertainty. Thriving sits in a place of uncertainty, in a sense, because there is no certainty of self in terms of past experiences. There is no self that is defined by the past self. There is presence of self, but it's not reaching for anything beyond the present moment. It doesn't need anything beyond the present moment. Whereas survival is caught in the past and the future and is outside of the present moment. That's why survival is about going up into the mind. Thriving is about coming down into the body and moving within the moment. Response in the moment to the present moment. When I'm thriving, I am not thinking about thriving. I am simply feeling the fullness of my experience within this moment. And it feels so good. And I am acting from that feeling of feeling good. When I am surviving, my attention is so far in the future. My attention is out of this moment because in this moment, I am surviving this moment. And to get through this moment, I must hold on to the future and I must be weighing myself against the past. I am thinking of the past in order to get through this moment and get into the future. Versus thriving. Thriving is here and now. Thriving has allowed the future self and the past self to merge into this moment and come out of my head. Thriving has allowed my past self-identity and my future self-identity to shift out of separation and become one entity with my now. Can you feel that essential difference? Can you feel the lack of splitting? Now, better question. The next question. How do you allow the past self and the future self identity that identifies with being a survivor to fall away, to decay, and die off? How do you allow yourself to let your past self and your future self become irrelevant, so that there is only you here and now? Sit with this. Sit with this question, because this is the key to identity shifting. How do you allow yourself to sacrifice your survival instinct and become present with the moment in order to fully thrive within it, to fully respond from inspired action, instead of allowing yourself to shift into the mind and offering mentalized, intellectualized justification, rationalization? Allow yourself to sit with this question and just let yourself breathe in and out. Thank you. Come back to consciousness. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are here, present, fully seated in your body. And now go and write about this. And let me know in the comments what came up for you. I'm excited to read that. Thank you.